Warning: this program may contain explicit language that may be considered offensive or inappropriate to children and some adults.
The following content is intended for mature audiences only.
Well, that would work if I, took the overlay down. All right, so good evening, and welcome to another episode of Geekin Out, where, these random friends get together to talk about random geeky things that really don't go together, but it's funny anyway. So I'm your host for tonight, Ricky Z, social media manager, teacher, mom, always here, somewhere in the background normally, but I'm here. We also have our usuals, Julian and Chris. You can find Julian on Instagram at badjuju, BADJUJU. And you can find Mr. Chris on...
Double G's.
Double G's.
It's double G's. BADJUJU.
No, because I'm going to fix it right now. Look. Fixed.
Boom! And boom! Look at that. All right.
There you go.
That's why she's our social media manager.
Exactly, because she's on top of
a wizard.
I can fix things, guys. I can fix it. And then we have Mr. Chris Steele. You can find him on Instagram at Chris of Steele. And that's Steele with 3 E's, STEELE. We love him.
Don't forget the last E.
Don't forget the last E. And then a special guest for us tonight is Mr. Dondre.
Y'all should just put me on the regular rotation at this point.
I know, right?
So if you don't know Dondre is our Canadian geek and model friend to Onelli Media. You can find Dondre on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Dre, D-R-E, The Shadow. So DRETHESHADO. And also Cash App of the same name. So if you feel so inclined, drop a couple dollars. Just
we will take that.
Right, just a couple dollars here and there.
All the dollars.
All the dollars, to be honest with you. I'm not going to play with y'all. All right. So tonight's episode is we're going to review the new Cruella movie. So we had mentioned it in the last episode about how we were at least intrigued by it. So we finally watched it. We all watched it.
Oh, yeah.
I took the plunge and spent $30 on Disney Plus to watch the early release.
Thank you.
Thank you. I mean, but honestly though, because if I went to the movies, I got to take the kids too, and that right there alone is $20. If I went on a Tuesday, it might have been $5 a ticket. That's Stimulus Tuesdays here for the AMC folks. But then, they're gonna want popcorn, drinks,
some goobers,
candy.
Mommy, I want Twizzlers.
I want some ices, the cherry kind. Right. So either way, this way I didn't have to do anything special for food. We can eat the food that we got in our house and use our own Wi-Fi. So yes. All right. So before we get into our main topic, we're gonna go into a very quick commercial break. Here we go.
Don't go.
You're a babysitter for your own children because, you're going to need lots of energy to pass out virtually to everyone who's looking down in the dumps. You're going to need to know how to work the Zooms and things because, I don't know nothing about the Zooms and the computers and all them things and the FaceTimes and the Google Classrooms and things. And I be struggling, so you're going to need to know how to do that, baby. You're going to need to know exactly what you're doing when it comes to that.
All right, that was Miss Tam.
Tamara.
Yes, with the Mompreneur plug. You can find her on YouTube. She recently, I can't remember how much it was, like 1,000 followers, subscribers on her YouTube
I think
channel.
so, yeah.
Yes, so like she's doing big things, and so congrats to her. And you know, she also runs an education center here in good old Columbus, and so she knows about the Zooms and things. Don't let her fool you.
Don't let her fool you.
Don't let her fool you. She knows about the Zooms and things.
Somebody
All right.
needs to. I know I don't.
Look,
I'm a millennial and I still can't figure it out.
Look, I'm about sick of Zoom. I'm sorry to my colleagues or admin, school board, whatever. I'm so sick of meetings on Zooms, professional developments on Zoom that last 2 hours.
Bitch, nah.
Right. I sat through one through post planning, and like it was an hour and a half. The first 45 minutes was not needed. It was like a bunch of philosophy stuff. You're basically trying to explain to me how to work your program for summer school. Tell me how to do that, and let me log off because I'm in the middle of post planning. I'm trying to clean up my classroom so I can get out.
I got things to do.
Right, like there's really no need to do all the extra talking. Like there's so much, and like y'all stop being the folks that read off a screen. Like don't read your slides to me, y'all. I can read.
Oh, that's another thing. Oh God, yeah. It's like what is the point of this presentation? You could have just given me the PowerPoint, and I could have just sat here and read this.
Really could.
And I've been completely fine. Like
just email it to me.
Yeah, thank you.
That could have been an email. I'm just saying, like, we didn't need to meet about this. Just send me a PowerPoint. Send me a slideshow.
Unless your presentation is you're gonna summarize what's on your slides and then give me additional information or anecdotes that will help me understand the information that's already given.
Yeah.
Because
there should be more to what you're telling me than what's just on these slides.
I don't need you to read the slides to me. I don't need you to read the slides to me. I'm very capable of reading. By that point, like honestly, like I'm not even paying attention to you at this point. Like if I'm trying to write down what's on the paper, I'm not trying to pay attention to you at all.
Right. Yeah.
I think like after 30 minutes, if you don't have my attention, it's done. You've wasted my time. So
you're completely taken out of your element trying to like do all that, and you're still at home. I think there's something about the zone you go into when you're actually in that space. Like for me, like home workouts died out because I didn't have the gym. That was my atmosphere that I kind of like fell into.
Yeah. Yeah, it helps facilitate like,
right.
Kind of thing. And the setting helps usually. But at the same time, it's, I mean, at the same, okay, well, talking about the PowerPoint presentations at least, it feels a lot like this is what you did in school. It's what you learned how to do in school. So like you're kind of just like the ones that we did in school were kind of like the kid versions.
And they weren't beneficial to me then either.
And thank you, exactly. And even then they were like stupid. You know what I mean? It's like you literally like have us writing these things out, memorizing them, and then just regurgitating it back to you. Like it's not helping anybody. You know what I mean? Like that's not how you teach someone how to speak in public and things like that. Like that's
right.
Look,
the grammar school version of it is so much different. It's funny.
Yeah, if I'm like trying like write every single thing, like I had to eventually learn how to like annotate and abbreviate everything, and then like if you're not giving me anything like that's useful to go along with those notes to help me understand, like it's pointless. Right. So anyways, on a lighter note, we're gonna talk about what we're geeking out about, and it's I'm gonna let one of y'all go first. What about you, Dondre? What are you geeking out
about? I definitely had to like make this up 5 seconds ago, but
yes, on the spot.
That's okay.
Oh my God. So wow, why did I lose it? Oh,
that
God.
quickly, dang.
Okay, I did have it about a second ago.
Right.
Okay, I'll follow move on real quick because I had one. So Issa Rae's gonna be Into the Spider-Verse. She's joining the cast for Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes,
I don't know who she's voicing.
Spider-Woman.
She's gonna be like the Spider-Woman.
Yes.
Original OG Spider-Woman.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Issa Rae. That is a role. That is a mother effing role, and I'm here for it because she's clever. That'll be good. And if anything, it does that whole. I'm sorry, guys. Spider-Man. One of the best things about him is just he's kind of like Deadpool. You know what I mean? He's clever. He's slick at the mouth. he's witty and all these things. We fucking love that about him. So like Spider-Woman obviously should have a lot of those same traits. So Issa Rae, I think, would bring something like that.
So I actually found out about that on TikTok like yesterday, and somebody was talking about it. Because I don't know if anybody's listened to the soundtrack for Into the Spider-Verse, but like that's a really awesome soundtrack. So the same person who did the soundtrack for Spider-Verse has also done the soundtracks for Issa Rae's show Insecure. And so if you listen to Insecure's music, the music that's been on Insecure, like those are all bops too.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if that's a collaboration, if Issa Rae is going to have some influence on like the music that's going to be on the soundtrack and in the film.
As long as Kendrick's involved, I am in.
I'm so excited about that. I was so excited when I found that out. It's going to be great.
Pretty cool. But she does do, I mean, she's pretty musically solid, I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
She raps more, right? She raps on these things.
She raps a bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Oh wow, okay. all right. Well, okay, so that was one of mine for now for a quick one. There was another one, but now I have forgotten mine. Oh, that's what it was. So you know how we talk about AI and things like that. I don't know if anyone has seen like on the internet. There were like a few months ago at least, there was like a picture of those AI dogs. You know, and everyone was like, "This is the future. It's scary," or something like that. Okay, so I had seen in a few of Facebook groups that I had been a part of. There was just this picture of this four-legged animatronic thing, and it has like a red laser eye. You know, kind of it looks ominous, kind of a thing. And so you're thinking, "Oh, this isn't real," but guess what? It actually is. Like they actually made them. Those things are actually real. So it looks really ominous. It's obviously not, but so what it is, I guess it's like a guard dog, a police guard dog, AI police guard dog that they were just trying out. But apparently they tried it over here in New York. They did it in New York City, supposedly. I haven't actually gotten the chance to like really get into it. It's just why it's like everything's a little bit on the fly on our Geeking Out today, for me at least. It's like, oh, I've seen these things, I haven't gotten a chance to read them fully. But I hear that after like a week of using them, they've already had to they've had to take them off the market in a way, you know, because I think it's really simple, but like the commands for it, you know, you hear someone, you know, you hear the owner, the handler actually using the commands. Obviously, you're going to learn them. Guess what? You can also now control this AI dog that technically doesn't care about who's giving the commands. You know what I mean? You know, there's no way to decipher anything like that. So they've had to take them off because they become useless almost because people have like figured out the actual commands. So it's like, oh, you know, you command the dog to look for something. Someone else is kind of being like, no, don't do that.
I feel like the next step would be
like a week.
I feel like the next step would be like voice recognition, which is also
I know. So
scary.
exactly. So like they've kind of gone off. So this is more of a test run, I want to say. So I guess, you know, the later versions are going to be a little bit more. They'll close those loopholes and those gaps, but it is a little funny because you know it's something that kind of like right out of like a sci-fi movie or whatever. But it's like, oh, it's something we technically have tried. It obviously didn't work the way we were hoping, but whatever. It's cool. AI is making like really big strides and stuff, so it's really cool to see. Robotics is big these days.
Yeah. So what about you, Chris? What are you geeking out about?
I've got a few things, just a few.
Okay.
So big today.
Well, I mean, just
the scroll.
The scroll's here.
It's here. It's always here.
Yeah.
An old man. I got to write shit down. All right. So the first thing that I'm geeking out about, just to kind of go along, piggyback off of tonight's theme, is that the sequel for Cruella is in works. It's been confirmed by Disney. Yes.
I don't even know how that's gonna work.
It only took 2 weeks for it to be in the box office before Disney greenlit a sequel, and they're in pre-production right now.
Well, I mean, Wheel of Time, they only like finished wrapping up the first season, and already they're like, oh, we have to definitely like give them a second one. So I mean, I guess Cruella is just as good.
So that's my first thing. My second thing is I started getting into the television show Halston on Netflix because I, you know, being a gay man, I love fashion. And Halston is one of the icons of fashion from like the 70s and 80s. So it's a really interesting show. It's one of the creative directors or producers or maybe even like creators of the show is Ryan Murphy, and I love Ryan Murphy. Like I love his products.
It is the first mention.
Yes, it was the first mention. Therefore, I took a drink.
There's maybe a few. There's a few more under my sleeve somewhere. Wait, okay, so this is
get ready.
Yes.
Get ready, though.
So wait, this is a docu-series, or this is just more like, or it's like it's a creative show, but the time.
Yeah, it's like how he did the show about Versace, like the death of Gianni Versace.
Okay.
So this is kind of along the same lines, but about Halston.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm into it. I'm into it. It stars Ewan McGregor, who plays Halston, and
I love him.
Love me some Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
All right, another show that I've gotten into, Hacks on HBO. Ooh, I don't know if any of you have seen any of it. It's about like stand-up comedy and this like comedian Jean Smart, who's like kind of aged in her career. Like she's been a funny woman for years and years and years and years, and now she's like performing in Vegas, and she's like super jaded and burned out. And she hires a young writer to kind of spruce up her act, and their squabblings back and forth are hilarious. So I'm into that. And then my last thing that I'm geeking out about, Julie, embrace yourself. I started The Wheel of Time.
Yeah! I'm excited. Wait, you started reading it?
Yeah, well, this weekend, and I got almost halfway through the first book. Like I read over 300 pages this weekend. Was just like, bloop, 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 bloop,
oh my God, guys, I'm so excited. This is amazing.
I need to find the actual books, because when I looked at my local library, it had the graphic novels, and I was like, well,
bitch, you have the graphic novels at your library?
Yeah, they're in my library. I got them like back in.
My library will never get those back. Are you kidding?
I mean, I eventually returned them, but like it was like back in October. I feel like.
The graphic novels. I've yet to like collect them, I guess, but I have seen them. I have flipped through a few of them. They are beautiful. They're beautiful.
2 or 3 of them.
They're beautiful because they were like the first installment. They could obviously be a little bit better. Well, now at least because they came out like decades ago. 1-2 decades maybe.
Yeah, so like they were like the library had like at least 2 or 3 of them there.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. That's great. Well, that's great. Okay, so where have you left off? What chapter, I guess, or what part?
It's chapter 20 something. Right now they've all kind of scattered, and they're trying to either cross the river or
White Bridge. They got past White Bridge, and that's it.
They're trying to get to White Bridge.
That's good.
No spoilers.
It's good times.
Okay, so you're gonna have to send the first book through the pony, Mr. Chris. So I can
you know what? I have the PDF actually. I have like all 8 of them. 9. I have like the first 9 or something like that.
We've been doing this show for almost a year now.
Julie.
Why are you?
I know. It's like I've been having them
like
sitting in the back corner. Okay, I'm gonna have to send them to you guys, but so you can read them whenever you want.
Right, like just now saying that.
I know. I'm kind of like failing on that one. Okay, so but that's exciting, Chris. I'm really excited. I'm super excited, guys.
It's so good so far.
I know. I'm happy you love it though. Oh, that's the best part. Okay. Who's your favorite so far out of the 5? The Edmund Field 5.
Okay, Egwene. I love Egwene.
Thank you. Okay, because a lot of people hate her, but I love her. That's what I'm saying. I think she's amazing, but you'll find that you'll see where you kind of start to dislike her a little bit, but it's not enough to hate her. You know what I mean? I think her character is so golden. So that's just me. I'm happy. Yeah, happy you're into it. That's nice. I like that. Oh, there was something I was gonna say though from before, but I can't remember what it was now. So never mind. On to the next thing. I got too excited over Wheel of Time.
It was my brother-in-law too. See, I live with my brother-in-law, and he has several of the books, but he's read like all of them, and he is obsessed. And so, this weekend I don't even remember what it says that convinced me, but I was just like, all right, bring me the first book. Bring me the book. And he was like,
try
it. Really? And he brought it to me.
Oh, why haven't they been friends yet?
I know. Oh my God, we could probably just geek out just about that, to be honest. Like we could just be friends over this. Nothing else really matters. But so that's awesome.
Sometimes those are the best friendships.
Yeah, but I'm excited. That's great. That's great. That's great. I would be too. So it's nice to see it. And I'm happy that I really am happy that like you're enjoying it because I talk about it all the time. So I'm like, I want people to feel that joy because I know it. It's nice. It's a good
He
time.
told me that if after I read the third book, I wanted to take a break or stop at that point, that I could do that. But he recommended reading all of them.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh, absolutely.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. So, because I knew you were talking about this last time. I just started. I finished Shadow and Bone, like all in a night. It was all in a effing night. Like I was just like I couldn't stop because it was really, 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 really good. And to be honest, the costumes alone was enough. Like the fucking every time they put that bitch in a robe, I was like, yes. What is the next one? Put it on her. Put it in her hair. Yes.
All the robes.
Put it, let
All
it
the
dangle.
robes.
I don't care what it is. She looked amazing. Also loved the fact that like the main character is not like a white girl. No offense to everybody. You know what I mean? But like she's more importantly, she's Asian and she's fucking beautiful. And I'm just like, girl, yes, like give it to me. So that is nice because I finished that like in a night and then shortly after started the Irregulars.
Thomas is watching that right now.
Yeah, like, that one is also really good. But also, the main is like it's an Asian girl, and I'm like, yes, like make her the center, make her the love triangle center. You know what I mean? All the things that they usually relegate for who give it to everybody else because everyone else has those problems. Everyone else finds themselves in those situations. So. It was nice.
I love that journey. Yeah,
I love that journey. I do, but also, Shadow and Bone though is really, really good. Like just the way that they structure the world, the magic system is really awesome too. I don't know. It's really cool. I liked it. I really liked it. I haven't read the books, but I guess I'm going to have to try and make an effort to because it's pretty solid so far. That and the twists and the turns. The twists and the turns are nice. I like Jasper. Jasper is first of all, Jasper is so fucking pretty. I can't. But I love him. His character is like I love it. I love his character. I love that entire thief dynamic that they have going on. Because even with like Inej and what's his what is the leader's name? Max something.
I can't remember. Yeah,
nobody remembers. The guy with the cane. The one with the cane.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, their whole dynamic is really nice to see, as well. It's like it's kind of endearing. So that show is actually really, it's well written, it's well acted, it looks awesome. Go watch it if you haven't. The fucking costumes are disgusting, amazing. I can't. I'm just ready to make shit. All right. Anyway, that was my. Oh yeah, sorry to interject. I know you have a few more, maybe Chris, perhaps.
Oh no, I'm done with all my stuff.
Okay.
He's like he dropped the wheel of time.
Right, like that.
He was like, "That's it. My
go.
job is all I need. Julie will talk for the next 20 minutes. Okay, I'm done.
All right, Don, are you ready?
Oh yes.
Okay.
So I'm surprised nobody brought it up, but I mean, just to start off, in 2 days we're getting Loki.
Yes, Loki's coming.
GJ's.
I was going to bring it up because I'm going last. So yes, Loki, go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
No,
I've stolen your thunder.
No,
the show looks so good. Like we don't know the plot. We just know he's in between time and doing stuff in time. And he's still like a prisoner of time. So it's so interesting that he's dealing with the time bureau peoples. But I'm really amped and ready for it. I don't think this is gonna be a show that I can just watch weekly. I know the second I see Wednesday's episode, I'm gonna need the next one.
Yeah. You might want to wait. I might just wait beforehand.
It's gonna hurt. Well, you know what? You can't do that with these shows, though. These Facebook people, the Twitter, everything, it's all over.
Right. What I really like is that they're really getting into the magic route. They're fucking it up. They're going headlong. You know, they got WandaVision. They're gonna do Loki now. Next is obviously the next big one is what's his name? Doctor Strange. So
they gotta be Black Widow first, I think.
Yeah. She's gonna
they already have the previews for Black Widow on Disney Plus now.
I forgot. What's the new date of that?
We have to look that up.
Oh gosh.
But it's on. Like there's a preview on there for sure.
Oh, okay. What I will geek out about in this very moment is one of my favorite anime. You guys probably hear it because it's part of the new big three. My Hero Academia that just went through a giant training arc with its main characters. All the students that are going to the high school, right? But now coming up, now that they just finished like doing a training exercise where they're reintroducing all the characters that are studying to be heroes, and seeing how much they've excelled over their year in school. We're now going into a arc of villainy. Like they are bringing all the bad guys together, and we are about to see how they band together and build their like revolution. It is going to be so intense. I don't even know how to feel yet. So like very spicy. The internet's like scrambling.
I love when they have like really good political like plot lines. You know what I mean? When they're really well, you know, where they're just really well written. But like say political, I guess like the two poles, like your villains are really well written. You get me? Like we see how they became these villains, and you know, it's nice. That I like because I mean, as we talk about Cruella, I mean, we're going to be talking about Cruella very soon. You know what I mean? We like to see how the villain became that villain sometimes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
Geeking Out. I'm so looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right, so for me, I am also geeking out about Loki. I'm super excited for that to start on Wednesday. So yes, I feel some type of way about having to wait like a week for the next episode, but I will survive. You know, it was easier when like I was like in school and you know
Oh yeah, you didn't have any
things to do during the day.
Yeah.
So I think what makes it super hard is being. Well, you guys are currently like out of lockdown. I don't know if you guys like going back to school and doing your jobs.
I mean, it's Georgia. Was it really in lockdown?
She's like, did we ever?
Right.
Really lockdown.
But I mean, like when I was here trying to watch, like what's her name? Hello, Scarlet Witch. I'm sitting here at home with nothing to do, and then it's over. It makes you want to cry.
Where's the rest of it?
Well, WandaVision was like how I would start my weekend, like, you know, go through a week of school, and then Friday night, you know, the kids would be with their dad. I'd get some takeout, come home to my apartment, sit down, give me a glass of wine, and watch me some WandaVision. And then eventually, like, I get so caught up in what happened in WandaVision, I'm going to probably watch one of the other MCU movies to figure out, like, how all that stuff connects. So, like, that would be my Friday night, and I loved it. I missed
So
that.
what are we doing for Wednesdays? We're going to have to, like, reschedule our lives.
No, we're not doing that. We'll just have to come back. We're just going to be on.
We're gonna wait those 2 weeks. Don't worry.
I mean, if we want to move it to like once a week, we'll figure it out. But you know, if we want to do once a week, we can do that.
But you know, okay, we're currently with an MIA character, but he likes to wait till it's done before we decide we're going to talk about it. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We'll figure something out.
We'll make it work.
There's no reason to have like a staff meeting on here. Wait, oh gosh, some folks are like angry.
For Quay.
I don't know why. I don't know what we did. There was no spoilers, guys. No spoilers. Okay, Jose, I'm not sure what was the problem, but oh, so another thing. So I haven't officially watched it yet, but Sailor Moon Eternal is on Netflix.
I heard, yes.
I haven't watched it yet either, but I'm gonna. I'm
gonna force myself to watch it, but
Sailor Moon Eternal's on. So I have not watched it. So like I'm excited to watch that. The thing is, I have the bad habit of like finding the things that I really want to watch, but it's at nighttime, and then I fall asleep, and then I have to like watch it again in the daytime. So, like, I need to, like, sit down, probably have to wash my hair and focus and watch my shows.
I think the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like after 11 o'clock, I'm like, I can't watch anything new. It's got to be something like...
No, like, I got to watch the news or something because I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I really want to watch it. I'm really excited that it's on Netflix because I've been watching the the version that's on Hulu, but it's the dubbed version. So it's like the
Crystal?
Yeah,
Is that the
Crystal.
Cinnamon Crystal? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because that's the one that's on Hulu. That was, I guess it's a different take than the one that we watched as kids.
Kids.
Yes,
It's closer to the manga.
Yes, it's closer to manga, but it's dubbed, so it's whatever. That doesn't really make a difference to me. But I'm excited to actually sit down and pay attention and watch it.
I'm iffy on it. I'm definitely going to watch it, but I haven't been in a rush. I remember watching the trailer and I was a bit disappointed in the animation.
Mm.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like they gotta do it right, or I'm not gonna be satisfied.
That's valid.
That's how I feel about Wheel of Time. Yeah.
Yes.
Ding.
We
Number
want, but
three,
we want, we
four
won't take
references. Okay, but they gotta get it right. That's all we're saying.
That's totally valid. Like that's a weird
It's a
thing
huge
with
part
like
of,
the adaptions of things, and like Sailor Moon has been. Well, I guess you can't really say it's been redone, but like they've done iterations of it.
Yeah, it's
over time. Yeah.
Right.
But that's true because it's like the magic that you're always looking for in these things. So it's like as long as it translates, you know what I mean? Everyone should be satisfied.
Right. Right. And so so definitely geeking out about Sailor Moon Eternal, so I'm gonna watch that. Geeking out about Loki, and then last night was the series finale of Pose.
I watched
that
was a short season.
Yeah, it really was. I think it was literally only a couple months.
That's the series finale, though, right?
It's the series finale. Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, but I think part of it is because of a portion of it was filmed right before COVID became a big deal.
Yeah.
So there's
they kind of put everything to hold.
Yeah, there's certain things that were filmed prior to COVID, and I'm not quite sure how much they were able to film. When things not necessarily died down, but became less restricted. But it was very sad. It was very sad. I will not spoil things for you guys, but
I was gonna say there had to be a lot of tears, and I'm a little afraid to get there.
Like I was boohooing.
I gotta drink a lot of water beforehand.
Right,
I was hydrated.
I needed some tissues toward the end. So if
oh wow.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely watch it. And if you've never seen Pose,
I was gonna say Pose in general just doesn't.
Like if you've never seen Pose, where have you been? But you need to watch it right now. I think you should be able to watch at least the first. Is this the fourth season?
This is the fourth. Yeah.
Yeah. So you should be able to watch the first 3 seasons on Netflix.
Yeah.
You should be able to see most of season 4 on Hulu right now, or if you have like FX or whatever, you should be able to watch it that way. But definitely watch Pose. It's a Ryan Murphy production, but he has his hand in lots of things.
Oh,
that's crazy. I thought there was only 2 seasons and then the new one that just came out.
No, those 2 seasons were probably the ones that were on Netflix.
Yes, those are the ones I watch on Netflix.
So there should be 3 on there now, because they usually put the 3rd season right before the 4th season comes out.
Right. Yeah, I just finished the 3rd season on Netflix.
Oh,
yeah.
Spicy.
Yes. So if something's on Netflix and it's still currently running, they'll usually put like that. They won't put the recent season on until right before the newest season's about to start. So you
That's
gotta
so weird.
I guess because you're gonna have to binge that last season if you haven't watched it yet, and to hopefully let you be able to catch up, or you're gonna have to wait.
Well, no worry. I have my little pirate powers, so I can definitely
Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Me too. Wait. This is for Pose, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just came across something.
Weird.
What'd you just come across?
They just added Christina Ricci to the Matrix 4 cast.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here for it. Whatever, I'm here for it.
I'm always here for Christina Ricci.
Yeah, and she's Casper. Ever since Casper, she's been my bitch. I mean, Casper and Wednesday. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I love her.
Yes.
But we haven't seen her in kind of a little bit, but here she's coming back for the Matrix 4. I'm excited about that.
She's been doing a lot of indie stuff. So
she was in that Lizzie Borden thing on Netflix, wasn't she? Where she played Lizzie Borden.
I think so. Like,
I feel like I saw that.
so it's like, what was like the youngest I remember seeing Christina Ricci? It was in the movie with Cher and Winona Ryder.
Mermaid.
Yes, Mermaid.
Yeah.
That's like the youngest.
I was just watching
remember.
that the other day. So I think they had like a Cher marathon on Pluto. Sorry, really random. So it was like all these Cher movies. And I was like, yes, give me all the Cher. Every era of her, I want to see it. It was nice. Mermaids was on there. That's fine.
But yes, I love Christina Ricci. I loved her in the Addams Family. Like, she is Wednesday, and Casper. Like, she's like a mainstay. Like, yes, I love her. But I know for like a while, as she got older, she couldn't get into too many things besides like indie stuff. And she had that one show that I remember, Pan Am, that like got canceled like after a season.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
She was in Sleepy Hollow.
Yes,
I didn't watch that one though.
that movie. Yes, the movie Sleepy Hollow.
I love that movie.
Yes, but not the show that
No,
that did
that
itself
was
in.
good for like a season or two, and
For
then,
like a season and a half. Yeah, and they decided to screw themselves over.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Part of that also, I didn't realize because I haven't like checked the cast. It's going to be in Matrix 4, but like Neil Patrick Harris, Yaya is going to be on here.
Yaya
Abdul-Mateen. No, sorry.
No.
Yaya Abdul-Mateen. Sorry.
I don't know that one.
Priyanka. I feel like I know who this is. Priyanka Chopra.
Yes.
The name sounds. I'm like, I know. I can't think of the face on her, but I know who this is.
Yeah, Quantico married a Jonas.
Okay, and then Jonathan
JoJo.
Groff as well.
No, she married Nick Jonas.
She married Nick. Okay.
I don't know about y'all. I just want to see Priyanka in slow motion. She's a fierce woman. Like, I'm trying to see her really get it in this movie.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, I was never a big fan of the Matrix movies. I guess I have to hindsight. Yeah, I didn't care for them as a kid.
Love them.
I have to watch them as an adult. No, like,
yeah, I feel like as an adult you go with different.
Yeah, like
anyway.
It's definitely very different. I rewatched it like in February.
I have to watch it as an adult because my eyes are different now. All right. So,
happy Pride Month, guys. Oh, actually, there's one more thing. Sorry.
Yes.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, y'all.
It's already started. I went to my first Pride celebration yesterday, so.
I love the alphabet mouse.
It was nice. Oh god, it was so beautiful. The people like it was like one of those where like the community really comes out. It was really nice. But beyond that, a little bit on the darker side, I guess. So, did anybody hear about what happened in Canada with the Catholic Church in Canada? I just found out this morning, apparently 2 days ago.
Okay. Hi, can I do this?
Yes.
Was that the one with the...
A little bit, only because it's like, I know this isn't like the place because we usually do this at TalkItOut and things like that, but like it's like genocide of like a whole people. We've been doing it. We still do it. We need to fucking look at this shit.
Okay, so what's going on? What the fuck?
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so a lot of people think that Canada's perfect and no racism's never happened here. Okay, newsflash. The Catholic Church back in the day actually took and pretty much enslaved a lot of First Nation, Inuit, blah, 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 and would force them into residential schools where they would force them to become Catholic. A lot of those people were actually massacred, mistreated, raped, etc., and tortured if they were their cells, pretty much. So, news came about like 215 children dying.
They found 215 graves, but over the course of the establishment being open from 1870 something to 1996 is when they closed and stopped killing people. Over that time, they killed like 41,000 children, indigenous, like First Nation indigenous children, over the course of their entire being.
I believe the last residential school in the U.S. closed in 1996. So, like, I learned about something like that when I did a small stint in grad school. It was like in higher education, and it briefly talked about the residential schools and how the indigenous children would be pulled from their homes and then were forced to assimilate
They shave their heads.
Yes, cut their hair, and all this. They couldn't speak their language, and you know, had to change how they dressed. And then, for those that did survive, they were then supposed to go back to their people, and then like they couldn't, they couldn't make it in you know, white society because, you know, they're clearly different, and they couldn't make it in their homes because they've been
stripped of it.
Right, they've been stripped of their culture and been like raised completely differently. So like you can't fit in either way. But like also, I guess if to tie it back into geeking culture, it actually talked about this in a couple episodes in the last season of Anne with the E. So what you know, Anne with the E is based off of Anne of Green Gables, and of course Anne of Green Gables is based in Canada. I think it's not Nova Scotia. It's
Prince Edward Island.
Yes, Prince Edward Island. And like there was at least several episodes where they talk about that because, you know, the townspeople were very scared of the Native Americans, the indigenous people around them, surrounding the town, and like they specifically like took a couple of several of the children. There's a storyline with this one particular girl. Like they cut her hair, they abused the children, like all that stuff. So like it's come up in media, but you have to find it. So, but just
that's usually how that goes. Because also I'm gonna say like first world nation indigenous women are like literally being kidnapped for like a decade in numbers that are unreal. They're just kidnapped from their home. Like how else are you going to stifle a population except get rid of their way of reproducing?
And they
literally target their women. What's going to happen? You're not.
And indigenous women have like the highest percentage of domestic abuse and violence and sexual assault in the country. But you know, it's yes, it's very terrible. So before you know, let's get back on a lighter note before we go on to a commercial. No, because like it's important, but like it does tie into some of the things that we talk about because we do see it in media. Yeah, and we do talk about it in our media, but like no one really seems to connect the dots of how the things that we see in our media is representative of society and our past. These are not just things that just so happen and this is kind of happened in the story. Like no, these things come from somewhere, something from a real place, and we have to acknowledge that and learn from it. So, I guess I'm trying to think of what else I might possibly be geeking out about right now besides Sailor Moon, Loki, Pose, American Horror Stories has a new season coming out soon.
Oh, do they?
In July, called Stories. It looks very satanic. Lots of red, like legit, like someone shaped outline of the devil. Lots of red and black. You know, I have to pick my seasons of what I'm wanting to endure for American Horror Stories. I have to pick my seasons. I can't just.
To be honest, I don't think I've seen one since Hotel, and I didn't even finish that one.
Like I think the one that I specifically, I watched Murder House, but like it wasn't until like I saw it on Hulu. I definitely watched Coven. I
just need more Coven. I just need more Coven.
I love Coven.
Honestly, they could just do Coven justice and like give them another season, flesh them out a little bit better, not try and.
A couple of seasons ago, they technically brought parts of Coven back.
They did for Apocalypse.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I haven't seen that one, so I have to go back and. But then that makes me feel like I have to like watch everything in order if they're going to be connecting like different stories together. That's too much for me. I can't do that. I can't commit to that right now. Okay, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and go into a commercial break, and we'll be back to talk about Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
Live theater is back at the Springer Opera House. The Springer Outdoor Theater Festival presents Theater Under the Stars in a new outdoor venue located on site at the Springer Opera House. From hit Broadway musicals to classic children's tales, the festival includes 7 hit shows on stage now through June. For more information, please visit springeroperahouse.org.
All right, so we're going to get into our main topic, which is a review of the Cruella movie. So, before we talk about like our overall feelings about the movie, like I want to save that like overall like our rating of the movie to like the end. So I'm gonna go through a couple of questions to kind of feel some things out. So first of all, like, what are your first thoughts on the trailer? Like, what were your feelings before you even watched it? Go ahead, Dondre. I know you just read it. I know you read it, Dondre. I know you read it.
Okay. So I'll be honest with you. I saw that trailer. Like, me and Dury are on the same top like point when we spoke about it last time. I was like, why does Cruella have a remake? Why do we need to know anything about her? She wants a fur coat. So then when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks like nothing to do with a fur coat. So then I was like, is this magic? Is this dark and cynical? Like, I really didn't know what to expect. So like when I saw the trailer, I think I was expecting maybe something a little more like maybe even murderous. But I'm like, it's Disney. And I really went into the movie with those expectations or to none. And they did surprise me, I will say.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, so kind of along the same lines, after seeing the trailer, I was intrigued. I was definitely intrigued because I didn't know, exactly kind of like what Dondre said. Is it going to be dark? Is it going to be magical? Like, because I saw that dress reveal and I was like, okay, she got some magic, and that's whatever. I'm down. I'm all for it. She had magic at once upon a time. We can deal. But the way they did it wound up way far exceeding my expectations from the trailer. The trailer, while it did pique my interest, I didn't have huge expectations for just being like completely in love with the movie or anything like that. Like I thought it would be entertaining, and I thought that I'd probably watch it and maybe watch it again, but it wouldn't be my favorite. But I'd watch it and I'd be entertained. I was a little bit wrong.
Right. I'm like that. I would go as far to say is that trailer did not do it justice.
It just didn't. It just didn't.
It didn't.
I think that's okay though. I
think that was also like key in a way because the trailer kind of gave you no indication of plot,
context
of like what's happening, what exactly is gonna happen. We don't know. We just see fashion. We just see nice shots. Like it's things that's like, okay, I want to see what's happening here, but I have no motherfucking idea what it's actually going to be like.
And don't you hate it when you see a trailer
necessary,
and then you basically seen the whole movie?
Right. I was about to say,
I feel like it was effective in its own way because it was like, it got everybody to be like, what is this? Ooh, I want to know. But everyone's
exactly.
But you actually told me nothing. All I've seen is a few shots. We know she goes crazy because everyone just knows Cruella is crazy. And that's it. You know what I mean? There was that one dress, that one moment of like magic, but it wasn't enough. It was enough to leave you like, okay, I don't know what's happening, but I maybe actually want to find out. So
right.
I should have said this earlier. So as this disclaimer, so like at this point, guys, so like if you
you're gonna get it.
Have not seen Cruella, I will try to not to be spoilery. I will try.
But it is a review,
it is a review. It is a review.
They better be ready.
So if you have not seen it yet, go ahead and you can watch us on YouTube. You can catch us later.
Listen on Anchor.
I think as a consensus, we could probably say that just you definitely want to do it though.
Yeah, like right. Go ahead and spend that $30, or you can wait until like what? December when they'll put it back out and then come back to this episode later and you can talk about it then. But no, like if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to stop here because there may be some spoilers. So we'll try to not spoil it. All right, so like everyone else, like I was intrigued. I was not like I did not need a origin story for Cruella. Like honestly, like I never needed an origin story for Maleficent. I watched it though and I enjoyed it. But I don't need it. I'm okay with it. But I thoroughly enjoyed it once I did. So, the trailer was enough to get me like interested. Like, okay, I'll do a little debate on whether or not I'll pay the $30 to watch this early. Like, I'll think about it. And so eventually I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and do it. And I I enjoyed it, and I got the kids to watch it with me at least once or twice, and so like Claire enjoyed it too. So I think that's right up her alley there with the fashion and just the character, the wildness. That's totally my child. So it's totally her. So like it was a good watch. I think it was definitely worth it. I wish they would stop doing that though, Disney. Like stop charging us $30 to watch a movie when HBO Max won't do that to me.
You know, Walt is turning up in his grave.
Yeah. So, cause like, what's coming out on HBO Max that I'm not gonna have to pay for? In the Heights. In the Heights.
Oh, I want to see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, In the Heights. That's another thing I'm geeking out. I'm sorry, guys. Backtrack. Right. In the Heights. I'm ready. Right. I'm ready for that. So, like, yes, and because I already have my HBO account, I'm not gonna have to pay extra for it. So, I mean, right now I'm doing it Disney, but you know,
don't be expecting that forever.
Not forever. Oh. Not for everything.
You get a little bit for now.
Not for everything now. Like, you know, the stimulus check isn't all there anymore.
Yo ho ho, pirating we go.
Look, I'm not doing that though, because I'm not trying to.
Listen, I'm there with you.
Catch stuff on my computer. I got too many streaming devices in my apartment. These kids are gonna want to watch it, and I'm like, I can't do that. I gotta do legit.
A good pirate never comes out with any viruses.
Well, I'm not that. I'm not that.
But they are hard to find. But they are really hard to find.
Right. Like I'm not there. Like I'm gonna be the one that's gonna be googling stuff, and the next thing you know, I got like 10 viruses on my MacBook.
There you go.
Right. Like I can't do it. I cannot do it. Right. Anyways, so all right. So before we get into like any of the plot, let's talk about the fashion, y'all.
Oh my god, please, yes. Okay, literally every fucking moment. Every moment. Also, P.S. Baroness, I forget what her real name is. I had no idea that was her until like I got a close-up look at her face, which was like way further into the movie than I should have been. And I was like, oh my god, I know who this is now.
Right. Shout out to the first live-action film of 101 Dalmatians.
Wigs laid.
Yes.
Outfits done.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Also, her attitude. I was here.
Oh my god.
Every outfit. Every single outfit. Yeah. Every single
I loved
gown.
The Baroness, she really was. The black one with the gold thing that swooshed over to the side on the gown. I was like, give it to me.
Yes.
Across the board.
The board.
Like, I get it over and over and over.
Honestly, it was like the best part of it, though. It was like, oh, give me another look. Yes, bring me another look.
And everything that Cruella wore, I loved her Vivian Westwood grungy.
I thought, yes, she did that so well.
So not even just like the fashion, like because it is about, you know, someone who's in fashion, but like the costumes themselves were beautiful and like definitely of the time. And so
I need to know the costume designer because she is winning an award. She better win an award this year.
Yeah, she's got to win something. She's got to win something.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so what was I thinking of? Oh, the consignment shop where that entire
friend,
yes, her little friend, the friend with like he was snatched.
The David Bowie fellow.
Oh,
yes, all the time. Yes, Archie, all the time. And but then like the red gown, the Baroness's red gown, what was like a couple seasons behind it, and like just sitting in the window.
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah, had anyone noticed also that was what was cool about it was she was like, oh, I noticed that's the Baroness's gown, but that's kind of what the Baroness did to her gown a scene ago prior was to make exactly that same dress that she saw in the window. I was like, oh, bitch, I see. So like, you know what I mean? She's kind of like upstaging because the Baroness is kind of living in her own past, kind of. You know, she's not as creative as she claims to be, obviously, which we know as the plotline unfolds, we see. But that shit was nice. I was like, "Ooh, I see this. And it was like, oh, here she is, like making alterations to this dress. Oh, I'm gonna make this one better. And then like we see it, like, oh, is she, or is she just going back to what she knows?
Right.
It's nice. It's cool.
Dandre.
So now, if we're talking about fashion, I just want to let y'all know this movie in Pride Month is pushing the gay agenda forward. It was giving me notes of Devil Wears Prada all the way through. I
All
was
the way through.
Right.
into
Everything about
it.
the Baroness, everything about her was.
Right.
Oh
I
my
was.
Like
Every.
that's legit. Like what Julia said. Like it's giving me Devils Wear Prada, but like here's some puppies. So like
And also a little murder.
right.
right, a little murder.
Also, the puppies. Mm.
Right.
I want to
CGI
make a note out of them puppies because they
CGI
were
Buddy was
ferocious.
cute, and Wink is amazing.
Oh yeah, those puppies.
Those
Yeah,
puppies.
okay. Wink was really
Yeah.
cute, and CGI. I mean, Buddy was cute,
The
but like CGI Buddy
protagonist
was
pups.
fucking adorable. I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
The what?
And
The protagonist pups.
Yes.
Yes.
I was actually like, I was cheering when she had on that coat and it was Dalmatian. I thought she had killed them puppies too. I was like, yes, girl, you killed them dogs. Because
Oh
they
my
were
God.
horrible. And I love.
We're gonna
I
get
love
PETA on
dogs.
us.
I know. I love
Yeah.
dogs. I love.
I
dogs,
loved.
but-
I loved that she won them over in a way. You know.
Right, it's
Yeah.
Like
six.
I was like, yes, I saw it, and we saw it in her study when she was putting things together. I was like, oh, I see what's happening here.
What I also want to add about like the fashion, it wasn't just cunty. It wasn't like just the women and the gay character got their like standing ovation. Like when her and her buddies that she does her like thieving gig with, they were creating their costumes for all their little schemes. Dude, they were dressed down. Like when they went inside the jewelry store, I really felt
she was
every time.
Yeah.
I loved Jasper and Horace. I thought they were awesome.
They were a really nice addition.
Yeah.
They made great sidekicks. Also, quite amazing moment was also when she was in throwback moment was when she's in the car to save them. And she's like driving at things, and it's the meme. It's the meme of her in the car when she's in the car, and the wind is blowing in her hair, and she's looking fucking crazy. It's like,
Right.
there it is.
Like she's got stiff arms. She's clearly shaking.
She's,
It's
it's not
everything.
It's that one. It's like the scene of her, and it's like I was like, okay, that's cool. They worked that in here. It's cute, and Disney does pretty good. Like, what is that?
I don't know how to drive.
Easter eggs.
Like
coin,
Yes, that's what it's called.
something like that. They're good.
So Dan Angel's response was like, I enjoyed that they steered her character away from furs and animal cruelty, which kind of brings me to this question that I wanted to bring up later, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up now. So like, how does the story change your perspective of the original? And I mean whether it's the original, like the cartoon, or like the original live action with Glenn Close and all of her fashion glory, because like if you've gone back and watched the original live action film, like the fashion in that one was gay icon right there. Just that alone.
Right.
Okay. So like, how does this change your perspective of the story? Go ahead, Dodger.
So I definitely want to say, like I said, I went to this movie, I was expecting rubbish. I was expecting them to like send me on a loop and be like, what the hell was that? But this new story really enveloped her character by giving her that like backstory that was very well written. Actually, it was decent, and then making it come on this like journey up to the climax. It was really well dealt, and I think we're going into this like Cruella's a villain, but she was redeemable at the same time. Like from her not doing animal cruelty, from her not
hold that redeemable part. Hold that redeemable part, because I'll ask that later, because I feel like that's a separate question.
I'm definitely going for something there.
Okay.
But I think it was just very decently done. I mean, it was very kid friendly too. Like, I think she still, even though she wasn't like the most moral person, she still became the hero of her own story. Like, at the end of the day, kids were gonna love that movie for that, because they're not even gonna see it like that. Like the way it was actually like very psychological and like dealing with mental health too. So like, it was dope.
Yeah.
So I feel like, as far as how it changed my perspective of the story, I mean, definitely gave her a backstory. I almost feel like it humanized her a little bit too much to make sense unless they do a sequel. Like if they do a sequel and kind of show us a little bit more about how she gets even crazier and more like mad. then it'll make sense. But the way this story ended, it was almost like she was too humanized, and too like justified kind of in everything she did for it to go straight into like now she's Cruella de Vil and she's evil. So I think they can play with that. I'm excited that they're, they've already greenlit a sequel and they're in pre-production. I hope they do it justice and give us a nice arc for that character. But yeah, it definitely changed my perspective about, how Cruella, is a person and not just an evil fashionista diva monstrous.
I have to agree with that. So then, like, the villains back in the day were just pretty much villains, and I think we've said this on here before. I want to say where like they give a lot of villains these days their own story arcs and their own redemption arcs and things. So we kind of see them be more human and see their motives a little bit more and stuff. So they're not just like these evil or just these crazy characters. So it does do that for sure. Mm-hmm. It gives us something to work with, because Cruella, at least from the Disney version, even like we don't, she is just the evil character. We don't know how she got this way. We just see her. We just know that she's this crazy. And I'll offer some fur for a coat. But like now we see, okay, well, she does get a little crazy, but we see how she gets lost in her crazy. She isn't like this person. She doesn't want to be this person, more or less, but she feels like she has to be this person to get things done. Stella doesn't get things done. Cruella does. Mm-hmm. So she has to. No, that's all.
I do think she enjoys that persona though, and I think she also states in the movie, once learning the truth, that she's just like.
Maybe this was me the whole time.
I mean, so
right.
Spoiler alert. When we find out her parentage,
I think that's also a big part of giving her that flip that we're talking about. Even it's like her real mother isn't the mother we thought. And so then we find out that not only is she not the mother that we thought, that the mother that she thought was her mom, who was a role model completely different from what her quote-unquote nature feels like, because her real mother is more like her, who she is at heart, kind of a thing. So it's like we see the contrast there, but
the nature versus nurture.
I think,
but at the same time we see her kind of like shed the good mom and the good part of her, because her mom, all that influence.
Because she's scared of that reality. Yeah. I think. She's
because she knows that she
thinks
crazy.
It's inevitable. Yeah.
She knows her crazy. You got me?
So I think with so I think that can lead into like this question here. So like, did the movie really redeem her? So let me start. So when I think of like the earlier part of the movie where we talk about her childhood or how she grew up, we see this as clearly as a gifted child and very independent, and we see her with a parent that supports it, but in a way that isn't destructive, that's understanding. Okay, well this child is different and thinks differently and might not necessarily fit into a cookie cutter role, but she's still brilliant and she still has a mind of her own, and there's no reason to squash that. And then to find that the person who is her actual parent is actually very much the same, but there isn't that. I wonder at what point that her actual parent got to that point where she was the way that she was, because they eventually end up the same way, that super controlling, overbearing, I know everything, I have full control of all of this. I'm gonna take what I want and
vain, greedy,
yes,
jealous,
yes,
right.
Because eventually, Right, it's because eventually we see that in Cruella in the original movies, in the original films. So like I don't, for me, I don't know if this movie necessarily redeems her. You just see what could have been if certain tragedies didn't happen, because you still see those inklings in her as a child, but she had a more positive influence to better navigate that, to better focus those tendencies of hers. So I'm not quite sure if the movie redeems her, because eventually my question is, at what point does she go from being someone that was, spoiler, she's really scared of Dalmatians in this movie, from someone that is scared of them through some trauma to someone who wants to use them as fur coats. And like, if you look into, I remember watching the one with Glenn Close like earlier this week, just to kind of see how it lines up in my head. But like the 101 Dalmatians movie, the live action one with Glenn Close, like, it's not just Dalmatian fur that she wants. She wants all the furs. She wants that, like, she says she loves furs. Like, at what point does she gets to that? Or if it's really just one interpretation of that character, but like at what point, and I guess we'll see it in the sequel, like, how do we get to that point where she's just like, she's so like driven by this
one-track minded,
especially with like the ending scenes. Like I want to know how they will add that into the sequel and to like the main story. If you guys remember what happened in the ending,
I was gonna say, what about it?
With Anita and Roger, and they get a gift on their doorstep.
Oh, that's right, and it's the puppies.
Yes.
But she sent puppies to a number of people, no?
But she sent the main ones that we see in the main story. She sends Pongo and Purdy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spoiler. Yes. So like, how does that reconcile the rest of the story? I want to know that part.
It still seems so heartfelt, and I think we still, like, she's a deviant. Like, even before she like twisted, she was a deviant. She was doing bad things.
Right.
I mean, she was more of a Robin Hood.
As in redeeming.
I mean, not Robin Hood.
She was rebellious, but like she was rebellious because she was a gifted child and not fitting into the roles that they were expecting of her as a child.
Right.
So, anybody want to continue?
No, you said it all.
I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
I'm very afraid of this sequel because I really do not know where it's gonna go. I think it might take an arc like Maleficent, where she was like kind of good, and then if she was forced her hand, then she's gonna become evil, and for some reason she's gonna like fall into her predecessors and then be a villain in the next one, maybe. But I have no clue.
Yeah, so
I'm here for the sequel. I'm here for it. I think that.
Okay, so I have a mini theory that I just kind of that just came up with. So, we see her gift out the Dalmatians. These Dalmatians also happen to, I assume, come from like, Genghis. Genghis, is that his name? Genghis and the other two. These could be their actual puppies and things, and so it just seems like they could, her need to find these puppies again, can come much later because they're puppies that she knows. They're the ones that she's given out. They can easily
pulling revenge on the original Dalmatians that traumatized her?
Well, no, I don't think revenge. I think it's going to be more of like the Dalmatians are actually her. They're not the enemies. They're not on different sides. The Dalmatians are actually like her pets. They're Dalmatians that she knows, or Dalmatians that she loves, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure how they would put that part in, but I feel like that Dalmatians are going to be more she's looking for them to collect them, not to put them on a coat, but because she actually is looking for them, you know, to take care of them for whatever reason, you know. So I think that that's how they might try and tie those in together, especially when we talk about like the anti-hero and the way that they've kind of written them all out. Because like, look at Maleficent, you know. Well, the original Maleficent, she's maliciously hexing this child that she's never met before, and all these other things. But now we see, like in the live action series, how they turn that around, how she's fallen in love with this child instead, and like actually, you know, in love in a different way, like in a mother or daughter kind of relationship. So I feel like that's what they're going to try and do with Cruella here, at least with the Dalmatians, especially after she turned the 3 like to her side, you know, they became her Dalmatians in the end because they ended up respecting her instead as, I guess, the alpha figure. But that's what I mean. I feel like that either that, or the other thing I was thinking is she goes a little crazy via betrayal, as in her 3 Dalmatians who become her Dalmatians now, they do to her essentially what they've done to their previous owner, the Baroness, betray her in some way, and then that turns her against Dalmatians for eternity, kind of a thing. So I'm not sure how that might work out exactly, but I feel like they're definitely triggered madness in there somehow with them. But I think that either the Dalmatians, because she gave them out herself, I think that she is going to actually technically love them, you know, and like they're and perhaps the separation of them is what kind of drives her mad and like needing to find them. So I think that's where that one's going. My own
a lot
mini
to
theory.
untackle.
Well, yeah, I guess, but I mean, this one was pretty plot driven. I thought it, you know what I mean? I thought all the little undercurrents were really nice, especially with the way that she undermined the Baroness here, there, and the other place. Like, and she's supposed to be a genius, you know. So I feel like complicated plots are kind of her thing.
That's
you know?
true.
So,
that's true.
We'll see. We'll see in the sequel, I guess. But Redemption, I'm not 100% sure. I'd actually have to stay with you.
Yeah.
I don't think, you know. I feel like they're keeping it open for her to still kind of go crazy, I guess. But but the way that they've been writing these, I feel like they're not going to make her that, you know. They'll make her crazy, but not that crazy. She's always gonna have a reason. You know.
It'll be an understandably crazy.
It's gonna be an understandably crazy. She's never gonna do anything. She's always gonna be crazy and ruining a worse person. So it looks okay, but it's like, but she's still doing crazy, terrible things to a person. You know, whether that person deserved it or not is kind of inconsequential.
Right. I think it's just there was already the underline of crazy in her, and so something's going to kick it into full force, and then you're going to have the fact that she's very intelligent and she's talented, and eventually she's going to become extremely entitled, and so like it's all going to come to a head at some point. So like I want to see how it gets there. So I'm down for a sequel for us to at least get to that point. So I'm gonna do like one more commercial before we just talk about like our final, like how do we feel? Do we like it? Love it? I mean, I think we can all agree on how we feel about it, but one more commercial and then we'll be right back.
I actually had time to make current events today because about halfway through the day I realized I didn't have any, but I went and found some.
Been busy today, so.
Listen, right.
Okay.
So I'm going to start off light.
Okay. So, Curio, are these going to be current events that I have actually heard of this time?
At least one of them. At least one of them. Yeah, because Justin definitely know about that. Yeah, you know about all these. Because
you like to, every time I'm on, you like to spring somebody. Oh, by the way, this happened 5 minutes ago, everyone. What's your opinion?
No time to process.
Because this is hot tea. We don't like that stale, cold iced tea. We like piping hot tea, okay? Mm-hmm.
All right, that was a highlight from our sister That's a commercial from our sister podcast, Talk It Out, which, if you were wondering where it was last week, as you can see, Daria is not here. He's feeling under the weather, so we hope he feels better soon, so he can get back into the groove with us. But we will have a new episode of Talk It Out this week. We are looking for panelists. So if you are feeling froggy and you want to join us on Talk It Out, this week's topic is open relationships. You might see some folks.
I might want to be here for that one.
Right, so you might see folks from Geeking Out on, and by some, you mean might be all of us on Geeking Out on Talk It Out, and that's okay. So, and our good friend Tristan Daniels is going to be hosting. So, normally we would say if you want to be a panelist, email us at admin@Wonelli. We want you to email us at panelists@WonelliMedia.com.
Switching it up.
Yes, because I needed to be a little bit more organized. So
less
panelists,
chaotic and unprofessional.
Yes, less chaotic and unprofessional. Yeah, it's our motto, but sometimes I need structure. This ADHD brain needs some structure, and so part of that is we're gonna make that email strictly for panelists. So if you want to be a panelist on Talk It Out, or for some reason you have something that you really geek out hard about and you want to be on Geek It Out, let us know, because we are always looking for a fifth host to guest host to join us every other Monday. So if you want to be on either one of the shows, email us at panelist@WonelliMedia.com. So that's WOENELLYMEDIA.com. And then also, because I didn't do this earlier, make sure you like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Geekin Out has its own YouTube channel. You can watch Geekin Out and Talk It Out on the Wonelli Media's YouTube channel. If you haven't found us on Facebook, make sure you find us on Facebook, because we have Facebook pages. And so you can keep up with all the things that's going on both shows. So let's get to the final thing. So, y'all, thoughts? Hate it, like it, love it, Cruella, Chris.
I have to say that this might be it's probably top 3 of my favorite Disney live action remakes.
Okay.
And probably in that
you have top 3.
Probably in that top 3 also is 101 Dalmatians. So it's and I never really liked that movie that much as a kid. Like the cartoon, I mean, it was fine, but it wasn't one of my favorites. But I don't know, just these retellings, they've been really good, and this one was no exception. From the costumes to the soundtrack, we didn't talk about the soundtrack.
Right,
that soundtrack.
Oh my god, the soundtrack!
Yes,
for this one, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, hold up. Not just the soundtrack, but the score.
Score too.
It gave me chills.
Oh my god, it was so good. Okay, so there was all that. Then you throw in Emma Thompson and Emma Stone, and
yes,
I loved
all of it.
I swear it was one of the best Disney movies I've seen in the longest time. It was so good. It's so good.
I love a good Emma Thompson in a film. Look, so it's just but
Emma Stone can say.
Yeah, it was beautiful. But that was Emma Thompson Emma Thompson was in the first one, wasn't she? Or was that someone else? No. She wasn't in the first one. She wasn't in live action.
That was Natasha Richardson, I think.
Yes, right. She was in Nip Tuck, so never mind. But they look fairly similar. I guess because I think of Parent Trap. I always think of her in Disney films, and she's great. And she's been in quite a few of them, hasn't she? Some recent live remakes.
Wait, Natasha?
No, Emma Thompson.
Emma Thompson. I don't know. Wait, well, she was in the Saving Mr. Banks.
Saving Mr. Banks. She wasn't in Beauty and the Beast, was she?
I don't remember her in Beauty and the Beast.
Was she?
I'm not sure.
She was Mrs. Pot.
Oh, was she?
She was Mrs. Pot, wasn't she?
You know what? You're probably right.
She was actually. I think she was. To be
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. So yeah,
she was in a lot of Wasn't she in a lot of the but she's the original Mrs. Pot, is my point.
No,
Isn't she
that was
pretty-
Angela Lansbury.
Yes, that was Angela Lansbury.
Why
That
did I
was
feel
Murder,
like
She Wrote.
okay,
That
just
was
kidding.
Miss Jessica Sanders.
Never
Murder, She
mind. I
Wrote.
little...
That was Murder, She Wrote. Yes.
Or was that wait Jessica something? It wasn't Sanders. It was Jessica Fletcher. Jessica Fletcher.
Yes.
Fletcher.
Yes.
Okay, either
Murder,
way,
She
hold
Wrote.
on.
But
So-
yes, they use her, and she was fabulous, all up and down,
Fabulous.
all up
Oh,
and down that
Oh
movie.
god, she killed it in this.
And she was wearing them dresses.
Every
She was wearing them
single
clothes.
one of them.
She was
Every
wearing
single
them.
one of them. Oh yes, that attitude
She
though.
was
She
wearing-
really did. Like, you know what I mean? Okay, so we can all probably say that Meryl Streep kind of like set the tone for that attitude with Devil Wears Prada, at least. You know what I mean? Well, the writers and then her delivery. But this one is also like really, really well written, especially following. They did a really good job. You know, because that's how hard. Those are hard shoes to fill. Those are some hard Gucci. What are they? The Prada shoes from last season. Those are the new Prada shoes. Okay, well those are the hard Prada shoes to fill. So she did a really, really good job of doing that, though, of giving that kind of feel, that kind of character in life. She was a bitch, but she was a great ass bitch. I was like, yes. I forget what she said. She said something to somebody. And so, oh god, what was it? There was like at least 2 or 3 parts where like she just did something that was just so.
Her whole sarcasm.
I was
just
just like,
you're
oh,
pretty much
such a steak. Like
every
I
single
love it.
man she came across. She's like, you're pretty much useless. Why are you here? Like
She
she
was
does
just like, "Can we send you off to
every
the moon and be
man
done with
she
you?"
came
Like,
across.
It was
my favorite line when she was like, "Could you be more specific? Could you narrow the field just a little?" It's so good.
No, my favorite was when she was like, "It's my 9-minute nap," and she just like lay down,
Yes, I was
and
like,
with the cucumbers on her eyes. I'm just like, who just
the life I
makes a
need.
time 9-minute nap? Who gets any rest in 9 minutes?
Exactly. She had a whole timer for it and everything. I'm mad about
Oh my gosh! Yes. So she threw the chair and
it.
totally
That's the
ran
one.
away.
That was
Like,
the
oh my
one.
God.
She was just like, and like it was nothing. Whatever.
It's like it was almost. She could have just said, "You made me do it," and like I would be like, "Oh my god, you made me throw this chair. I'm so pissed. Like I wasn't even talking to you, and you made me throw this chair." Like that.
It was good.
It was something.
solid.
What? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I don't think I gave a final thought, but I did love it though. Otherwise,
Yes.
Devil Wears Prada. Emma Thompson killed it. It was very Devil Wears Prada, but Emma Thompson killed it in this, and then Emma Stone as well.
Yes, and I've been hesitant about Emma Stone lately. To be honest with you, I have because I loved her. I loved her in what was it? The A.
Stop Program?
No.
Easy A.
Easy
yeah,
A.
Easy
I loved her in
A.
Easy A.
Oh.
I loved her in most things she's done. I didn't care for La La Land. I did not care for La La Land.
Oh, okay.
I did not care. Right, and then like there was that whole thing where she was playing a character that was supposed to be like a native Hawaiian, like native Polynesian, Pacific Islander character, and like clearly she is not.
And then Scarlett Johansson.
The
Yes, so, like,
whitest
Yes,
of the
yes,
white
like
list.
so like when actors do that, I'm like, I don't know if I care for you that much anymore. Like I might watch your movies, I might not. Like I don't feel so inclined. But that left a little bad taste in my mouth. But like her work in this film was,
I thought she was so.
she was great. She did a wonderful job. Yes.
That accent too, like gosh, her dialect coach.
Yeah, it was
Right.
like.
Shout out to them. Shout out to them for real.
She did some work. She did practicing. She practiced in front of a mirror for a very long time.
She must
I'm
have.
Sure.
She
Like,
must have.
She put in the work. All right.
She
that's,
did.
That's
She
time.
did.
That's time, energy. So she did a great job though.
All right, so Dondre, I know what you're gonna say, but hit like it, love it.
It's terrible.
Oh.
Hated it.
What?
Throw it away.
Hated it.
It's terrible.
I have 10 looks here. I had 10 looks here. Took those things off that board. Like all of y'all did nothing today. All of your work today was nothing. Sorry.
Oh my
Kinder
God.
Rage. If you have not watched this movie, hopefully you haven't been watching this entire time. Sorry, Kinder
Oh
Rage.
my god.
Right. Look, I did put some spoilers out there, like Kinder Rage. I hope you go watch the movie, dude. Go watch the movie.
It's worth it.
So
It still is
frustrating.
worth it, even with all this.
Yes, I'm sorry, Dondre. Go ahead.
No. Okay, Rage, I'm gonna ask you to depart and get back to this later because I'm about to go in. I loved the movie. I literally saw it and I was like 9.5 out of 10. I did reel it back in and I was like, yeah, just give it a 9. But literally the only drawback from the movie was I felt Archie, the gay character added to the film, was absolutely unnecessary. Now I do believe that this is not the first time that Disney pretty much is like, first gay character in a Disney film, and I was like, huh? So which one's the first? There was articles about it, and
LeFou.
and then him being used, and pretty much just kind of being there. Like, I don't think he had any sense for the plot. I know he was kind of a supporting character for like Corella's more evil side, I would say, maybe, because it was more of an outlet. It was like kind of like your sibling or your gay best friend, which will like always support you no matter what you're doing, kind of thing.
I think that character definitely helped push, and maybe because there's more to it that we didn't see behind the scenes, but I feel like that was the one that kind of gave her the push with the rebellious reveals of her designs. I'm
Right.
sure she could have come up with some of the things, but like with her coming through in like the dumpster truck, and then like coming out and it's this beautiful gown, and the next the dumpster truck is driving away, and like all the trash that was in the dumpster truck was literally the whole gown. Like that's, I could totally see Archie coming up with that idea.
That scene was beautiful.
Right.
And like,
I feel like there's gonna be deleted scenes of them like planning it out and stuff like that. So I hope to see that if the DVD comes out, because I say this is a DVD worth buying. Now I will say, like I said earlier, the movie reminds me of Devil Wears Prada, but I also got like hella vibes from an Ocean's 11 movie, from like all the little heists they were doing. It gave me that even later on when she was doing her own thing. And I recently just watched a show with Emily Van Camp that I fell in love with, called Revenge. It was very much leading up through that kind of arc in storytelling. And like I said, like I went into this movie like, why does this movie exist? And I came out with this movie like, I'm living. I loved it every moment. Like it was very good, very well told. Soundtrack was solid, and like we said, like Emma Stone acted down. Like she didn't hold a single punch.
Absolutely. I think like when we sometimes are feeling like, what is the purpose of these remakes? What is the purpose of this reboot? Do I really need this? Like, I think this is one of those where it's like, it doesn't matter. It's good.
Guys, I just remembered the signature look. That fucking... Okay, that dress was
the
fucking disgusting beautiful. Yes, the moth dress was fucking beautiful.
Killer.
It was... Oh my god, when I saw it at the end and she was like, oh, this is beating, and it was like, I was like, oh, she sewed that shit by hand. I was dying, and it cut down to the bottom, and it hit the fucking...
Yeah, I love Dan's comment where he said, the only thing I didn't like was that spring collection where, she had one signature look and all the other dresses were trash. I didn't think they were all trash. But you're right, like that signature look, it was like, what else you looking at? What else you gonna see?
Exactly, but then that reveal what it actually was nice too. I was like, oh shit, I was not
great.
Probably
perfectly,
because
really well timed.
that one signature look is what she's going to wear all down the runway, and then because she's she talks about it like how she's so conceited. Like if someone like is wearing a certain color she doesn't like, boots her out. If someone is like upstages her unintentionally, she boots them out. So like if she's gonna own the room, she's gonna wear the best damn dress in the damn room. So if she's gonna wear her collection, she's gonna wear the best damn dress in her collection.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be looking at her, you're gonna be talking about her. So yes. Okay, so like I have to agree, like I loved it. Like you know, like I said before, like I was intrigued. I didn't need it. I did not need it, but I'm glad I have it. I'm glad it was given unto me. I'm glad it was given unto me, so I will say thank you.
Because I mean, I'm in the same perspective for the sequel.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Guys, I'm really looking forward to the Cruella costumes. Also, because I am going to redo. I've done that already. I did it.
Ooh, yes, Halloween's gonna be lit.
Oh my god, Halloween's gonna be lit. It's gonna be so nice.
Halloween's gonna be lit.
Ooh, yes. I already have an idea. I'm like ready to make it. Oh god, that's the thing.
Girls are gonna be dressed.
I'm telling you.
I thought we were gonna see a lot of Wanda Maximoff, and now we're getting variety.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be Wanda and Cruella. This is it. That's the.
Okay, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Katniss already originated the brand.
Okay, that's true.
Over here instigating.
Right?
But no, but like I
thought that was cool because you notice he's burning like different threads in the background. Horace like getting ready for it, and I was like, oh, here it is. There's the prep work for it, and now we're gonna see it. You know, for what we saw in the trailer.
Oh my god.
But like the difference though, there were so many ways that she was able to just present her dresses.
Yeah,
but
she was really
the burning, the trash can, just like the way that she's completely upstaged the Baroness everywhere she went.
The last one.
Locked her in the taxi and then got on top.
Yes, that one was great.
Like, every step she took, like that, I loved it.
I like when she made everyone's outfits.
Yes, and wigs.
The wigs. I didn't love the wigs in that.
The wigs were
could have styled the wigs a little bit more.
The style could have been a little. I don't know. I didn't love them.
No, they were bad.
I just didn't love them.
They were very Greenbrier Mall, but it's okay.
Dresses, all the dresses that had like that mini cape piece on the top, the shoulders. That piece was fucking beautiful, and I had like not like feathers. I guess had some. I don't know what the material was, but they looked like feathers the way that they were sewn on there. Oh god, the whole thing was so nice. Whatever. Anyway, the point is, she had like great things for like the whole time, and I'm like, so that means that they made like 100 pieces of these, and they can't donate one of them to me. There was a room full of people wearing that. Were they not? Come on, Disney.
I just
you can find my at the bottom. Give me a collar. Right. Like I
love the cleverness of that though, because like that whole scene was just very clever.
The old ladies start getting tackled. Boom, boom.
Yeah. I think we're doing our job wrong, but we aren't really either. It was good.
Yes. Okay. So I think the general consensus that like. We didn't need it, but we loved it. We didn't need it. We loved it, and we appreciate it, and we love that we got it.
I'm very okay with it.
I'm very okay with it too. Like I'm down for watching it some more, get my money's worth. Okay, I'm gonna get my money's worth. All right, so you know that is going to be it for us on Geeking Out. So you know if you want to. Come find us. You know, we're on every other Monday. You can find us on IG at WNM Geekin Out. You can find us on Wonelli Media. We're on the website. We also have a Facebook page. Find us on YouTube. Find us on Anchor.fm and all your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Come listen to us. Come join us and hang out with us because it's fun over here. I don't know who's hosting next, but I was liking that idea of a Lego movie talk.
Oh,
I want to talk about
Lego movie or which one?
Any of the Lego movies. All of the Lego movies. I love the Lego movies. Okay, so like
your favorite. Bring your favorite Lego movie.
Okay, but because if I pick anything, I'm gonna say the Batman.
I mean, everyone bring your favorite. I mean, pick your favorite.
Oh yes. Okay.
At least your favorite, and then we can talk about all of them. They go in. They fucking go in.
Yes.
They're on something, right? You can find them like on like Prime.
On drugs, maybe.
Are they on Netflix?
Random. I don't know where that came from.
Okay, so I definitely have the Lego Batman movie on Prime. I'm sure most of them are on Prime.
All the Star Wars ones are on Disney.
Yes.
Netflix has a few as well.
I'm not sure
Okay.
about the Lego, the regular Lego movies.
That one might be on Netflix. The Lego
It was on
Lego
Netflix.
movie.
I don't think it's
and, like,
there anymore.
Oh.
So more than likely you'll find them on Prime.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
more likely find them on Prime, but definitely because the kids and I love.
I'll be in the
Lego
comments
movie.
that episode.
Oh,
He's like,
I
no
don't do Lego. I don't do the Lego movies.
Mine's gonna be this Lego Star Wars one, obviously. It's just but they're so well done. Obviously, honestly, the games were fucking cool too. I was like, oh, all right, Lego, and
all right. Well, then you'll see us not next Monday unless we decide to change our minds, but you'll see us the Monday after that, and we're probably gonna talk about some Lego movies. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for those that stuck around and suffered through a few spoilers. Sorry about it, but you were
Sorry,
warned.
not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
but after you watch it, even if you didn't, well, never mind. It doesn't
Come back
matter.
to it. Even if you watch the whole episode and you do finally watch the Cruella movie, come back and listen so you can get better context of what we were talking about this time. And thanks Kinder Mage for watching. Kinder Mage said that they're okay with spoilers. That's how they watch more movies than not. I mean, because I would definitely be that person that's watching a movie and then looking it up on Wikipedia to see what actually
Honestly,
happens in the middle of the movie.
sometimes you have to be efficient. There's a lot of content out there. How am I going to see all of it?
It's do I really want to know if I want to continue or not? Is it worth me continuing? So I need to know what's going to happen ahead. All right. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Dondre, for joining us tonight. We appreciate you, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.